Today, we are going to gloss said bike, and we have the exciting parts, mate. Real exciting. I'm pumped up, as you can tell. So today we're gonna gloss the bike because it's been curing here for a week and the paint is nice and dry and hard, which is good. No pun intended. And the back wheel is painted too. I already painted the rear rim, but I did not get to the front rim because I'm busy during the week, but that's life. But today is the process of getting the gloss on the bike on all the parts that are white. And in the meantime, afterwards, I'm gonna hit everything with the blue because let me show you what we got, man. Every single piece is finally in my possession to get this bike ripping and started. So the parts on back order ended up coming pretty quick, actually. And the parts we were waiting on was the slow jets, which are right here. The choke cable, which is in the carburetor, ended up going with the Polini choke cable. And I already put it in there in the top of the carburetor, so I got ahead of the game a little bit. But there's still a lot to do with that cable. We got the thermostat. I went with a Coso Mini, and this is both in Celsius and Fahrenheit, but it has everything you need in the package. And this is necessary with this two-stroke, so don't overheat it again. And we have the intake, the actual intake itself. I went with the Polini 360, and this thing is snazzy. This thing looks real good. So we have the complete intake Polini system. We have all the intake parts from before. We have everything else in the box. I'm throwing a fresh plug in my towel top today. That's otherwise. Every single thing to get this bike, everything it needs to rip. Plus the piece de resistance. Here she is, boys. Dang, is she pretty. I had no idea this thing would be so gorgeous when I opened this package. I ended up going with a Vento TT pipe, capable of 11 to 12,000 RPM, your mid-range performance pipe. But this thing is no slouch. I already went ahead and de-restricted the restriction inside of here for emission standards. We had to cut that out with a Dremel. If you follow my shorts, you'd see when I did that. But this thing is absolutely gorgeous. The welds on here are just flawless. It has this beautiful gloss over the entire pipe. Handmade in Italy. It has these ribs right here for extra strength. And I mean, this thing is no joke. I am pumped up about this thing. When I put it on, I'm going to use gloves, don't worry, so I don't have handprints burnt into this pipe everywhere. But this thing is mean. This thing is going to put this bike on another level. And Vento is sweet. Check this out. Vento also sent 2 sets of 1,500-pound clutch springs with it and 3.5 rollers. Now, I'm not going to slap these in there. I'm just going to keep the stock ones in there as is, but that's awesome that they include that. But what I went ahead and did, and this is very important, this was taught to me by the scooter shop. I had no idea. I was just going to throw the circle ring exhaust gasket in there, but that is not good. This is good. This is what you want, because when you put this on here, on the head, you want a flat surface like this. If I were to put on that circle exhaust gasket, when I tighten down those nuts, oh yeah, and this has open exhaust flanges as well. I think that's sweet. That's a really good attraction for this pipe right here. But this gasket here is flat. So when you put on both of those studs and you tighten everything down, when it compresses, it is going to compress evenly, and it's not going to distribute the weight and bow in around that circle gasket. So I might have made a mistake, but I went ahead and got this, so we have everything for this beautiful exhaust as well. But enough talking, let's get straight to the business of glossing everything. I painted this rim and I taped everything off, but this is going to be the test run because honestly, I have never glossed anything this big. I've glossed smaller things before, but this is going to be a long continuous spray, so this rim back here is going to be kind of the trial test period. So we're going to lay down a gloss on this rim first and see how it goes so I can get, you know, the rhythm of it and the flow. And then we're moving on to baby. All right, let's do this. Just real quick, what I'm also doing is I'm wiping everything down with a microfiber cloth before I do anything gloss-wise. That way any debris that is left on will be clean and clear. Wipe off your surface before you gloss. Very important. Gloss went down, and that's what I thought. That's why I wanted to do this in the sun outside, is because you can see it transition from kind of like a flat color because it's clear. You can't see what you're painting, but it transitions from a flat to a wet gloss, and that's what you want, that wet look. And that's where you want to move on to the next spot. So it has that shine, baby. That's what I wanted. So cool. Let's go hit the body.
Tiptoeing through the jewelry store, Christian Dior, mink dragging to the floor. I don't really care about money anymore. Pay me in jewels while I'm pulling up a fall. Tiptoeing through the jewelry store, Christian Dior, mink dragging to the floor. I don't really care about money anymore. Pay me in jewels while I'm pulling up a fall. I feel blessed today. No girlfriend, no stress today. Never was a child, so I never got to play. You know crime.
The first layer of gloss is laid down. Definitely needs a second because there's some spots, but everything went beautifully except, and I'm pissed about it, man. Right here, look at that. That huge wrinkle and drip. This is the first spot that I decided to hit. I really should have started somewhere else to get a feel for it because I don't even know how gloss really does that. It crinkled up the paint and dripped right there. Dang, man. I mean, it is what it is. I can't fix that. I'm not gonna redo the paint and freaking gloss all over again. So whatever, lesson learned. But everything else went good. Everything else, there's no drips. You know, there's some like flat spots, but that's what the second coat is for. So I gotta go pick up another can of that. But I also got to do these things right here. I'm going to paint the front fender and the rear fender white as well, but I didn't even clean this off yet. So I'm going to clean this off. I'm not going to worry about sanding this down because it has a really rough texture to begin with. So I'm going to hit these two things white, and I need to hit this rim white as well. I already cleaned it off. I got to sand it down a little bit, and then I got to tape everything off. Hit it with white twice today, and then later during the week, I'm going to gloss over it and then do these things blue, but we'll get to that later. But right now I'm gonna go pick up another can of gloss and I'm gonna get started on this when I get back. Fenders are painted. First layer of gloss is dried. Front rim is taped off, ready to go. Baby girl needs a second coat of gloss. Let's do this. Yup, it's dried, and gloss dries a lot more quickly than paint, I've noticed, so that's cool. But let's hit this. This thing needs to be shining.
It's closing time. Fish scale falls on my jaw, moonshine. Midnight falls in the cold moonlight. Crimes get organized. Diamonds jumping out the gym while I'm watching my husky swim. Can't imagine life any other way. Dale D'Antoni on a razor blade. Tiptoeing through the jewelry store. Christian Dior, mink dragging to the floor. I don't really care about money anymore. Pay me in jewels while I'm pulling up a fall. Tiptoeing through the jewelry store. Christian Dior, mink dragging to the floor. I don't really care about money anymore. Pay me in jewels while I'm pulling up a fall. Tiptoeing to the jewelry store. I don't really care about nothing anymore. Grandma say I grew up, I ain't stubborn anymore. I think the whole mag, we ain't fucking anymore. Tiptoeing to the Gucci store. But see why you're looking at my jewelry for. That's that shit.
Second coat of gloss is down. This side is beautiful. And I say this side because only this side. I don't know if it's the heat radiating off the fence. I don't know what it is, but look at this. So you remember that flaw right there. Sweet. That happened on a significant note. Look at that. Only on this side too. Cracked all the way through. Cracked. Damn, dude. This bike had a beautiful ass paint job. I gotta fix that. That is so bad that I have to fix that. Dang, man. I mean, up here too. And only on this side. That's what's crazy. This side, untouched. Perfectly fine. So the heat, the way the fence is right there, I don't know. I really don't, but it is what it is. Life goes on, but I'm gonna try to fix that to the best I can. That's what I noticed the most. This area, it's horrible. This bike is gonna be beautiful, but whatever, time to paint the rim over. Yeah. Second layer is down. Carburetor is built. I got the clear float bowl on there so I can see what's going on when I start this up. And the jet sizes that I went with is because you want to start rich and lean it out progressively. That's why you plug chop your plugs when you get this thing started and running after you heat cycle it and all that fun stuff. So the first jet I put in there is the biggest one. I put a 118 main jet and I threw the 42 slow jet in there. This carburetor came stock with a 100 main jet and a 40 slow jet. The 42 pilot jet is fine. That'll be good. You don't really need to stress about the pilot too much, but definitely starting off with the highest main jet here so I can get it cool, get it rich, because rich is better than lean, especially on first startup, and then lean it out from there. So everything's together, cable's in there for the choke. This is ready to go on the bike. All the tape is taken off because I do not need that anymore. The things that are untaped are gonna be blue. But she is looking good, man. She is coming together aesthetically just fine. I didn't even notice how the white and the dashboard matches the white on the paint now, but that looks fantastic. The black really sets everything off with the seat. Things are still being painted blue. The outside of the rims, you can see here what I mean, how it's chrome on the outside. That's gonna be Polini blue. So every blue piece on this bike is gonna be that exact blue to match the Polini. The cracking I'm just gonna leave, to be honest, because I don't feel like doing all that over again. It's not a big deal, it's just a little flaw. But dang, boys, the transmission is in there and built. I put a new belt in there today. Everything is snug and put back in there. Y'all can see the motor finally. There she is, sitting pretty. Got the plug in there, got the exhaust still taped off, the intake. We're still not done. This is still a process, but it's starting to come together. And dang, is she pretty. That's where I'm gonna end it off tonight, boys. It was a successful day with a little bit of flaws, but that's okay. You know, I'm not too stressed about it anymore. At first I was pissed. It's just a little flaw in the paint. The main priority is getting this thing running and ripping, and that's the main focus right now. Next weekend is build day. Next weekend, everything in the intake is being built, put on top of the engine. The exhaust is being slapped up on there. All the little odds and ends are being figured out throughout the week to get this thing started next weekend. Tomorrow I'm putting in more work, so I might make a video, I might not, but most likely I will, because I'm trying to hammer this thing out. I want to ride this thing. I'm dying to ride this thing. Not only does it look good, but it's going to be quick. This thing is going to be quick. So I'm excited. I mean, that says the least. But I'm happy with today's results. It was a good day. From sun up to sundown, repeat again tomorrow. This bike is gonna be a good one, a keeper, a ripper. So thank you guys so much for watching again. I'll be around. This bike is still going. Till next time.
Peace.